Hey, me old cock sparrow, you look a bit down. Not nice when you lose your job. Not when you've given years and years, hard dedication, and then you lose your job. But if you don't have savings after you're losing your job, well, you're in dire straits, aren't you? I mean, it's panic stations if you've no savings. I'm not working at the moment. I gave my job up. I resigned. I just felt as if I'd run myself as far as I can, run myself ragged. And if you're not careful, I reckon in your last years of your working life, that's the time where you're going to have serious accidents. And I just didn't want that to happen to me. So I'm living on my savings. So I'm lucky I've got savings to live on. And I should be able to live on those savings until all my pensions kick in and I get the state registered government pension to add with my private pension. So I'm okay. I don't need to worry. So I can dedicate a bit more time to doing a few more JW videos. Right, okay. So as much as, my heart goes out to anyone that loses their job if they've got children to feed, and a wife, to keep in a life of luxury. Not that that should be happening within the Jehovah's Witness family. You should keep your eyes simple. But just let's say they don't keep their eyes simple, and then the man loses his job, and previously they've got mortgages and they've taken loans out, and they've kind of gone a bit materialistic, even though they shouldn't have done this. But let's just say on this occasion they did do, because they went materialistic, took loans out, and lived a very nice, lavish lifestyle because they thought they would not have to pay back these loans. They would not have to pay anything back because they thought that Armageddon would come, and that would stop them then from having to pay these things back. Now, I do remember that this was certainly the case around about 1975, where brothers were doing the exact same thing, thinking they wouldn't have to pay back. Then again, I remember in 1982, and a particular family had a world trip that they couldn't afford, thinking that they wouldn't have to pay it back because they thought Armageddon was coming. So a lot of people thought Armageddon was coming, so what they did, which for me was wrong, was load up materialistic treasures, which was completely wrong. It goes contrary to what I believe. I believe in contentment, and I don't buy anything that I can't afford. If I couldn't afford it, then there's no way I would be looking at it. So I live within my means. But some brothers and sisters do not live beyond their means. They simply can't afford to have so many holidays a year, but they make themselves because they use maybe their credit card. This is all wrong. This is not what a Christian should do. Keep your eyes simple. That's what they are constantly told. We were told this. Keep it simple. And don't look at what others have got. Maybe they've got 2 or 3 cars in their driveways. Maybe they've got a big detached property, and you don't. You might only have 1 car. You may only live in a modest little terrace or something like that, which is what we have plenty of in the UK, terraced houses. In fact, I'm in a terraced house here. It's quite modest. It's okay. I don't dream of selling this and loading myself up with debt to get a bigger property. And this is why I just despair when I see brothers and sisters doing this, the very thing that the scriptures tell them not to do. So, look at his little flask. I like that. He's got a huge flask there. He's got all his working gear there. And you can't really see his face too well, but you can tell that, he's completely despairing. He probably doesn't know how he's going to pay his mortgage, how he's going to feed his children, any of that. At this stage now, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society would say, put your trust in Jehovah. That, you know, when everything's going wrong in your life, that's the time to draw closer to Jehovah. I know some brothers and sisters have done that in the past and it's worked out quite well. And I know some that haven't. They haven't relied on Jehovah. And they've still ended up getting another job and managed to sort of forge their way through this difficult time. I just think it depends on the person you are. A lot of people always think that they've got enough strength within themselves to overcome these hardships. And so they only rely on themselves and they don't seek outside help. You know, they don't disclose or confide in the elders when they're going through difficult situations, and maybe they don't even pray to Jehovah at this stage because they want to overcome these hardships on their own merit and their own steam, if you like. And that's okay when you're young because you've got abundance amount of energy, but when you get a bit older, you don't have the same energy. And I think that as you get older, a Jehovah's Witness is more likely to want to have a much closer relationship with God. Having said that, you still need that relationship with the Almighty, don't you? If you're a Jehovah's Witness and you first learn, you first come in to that religion, because it's drummed into you, isn't it, that you have to have a personal relationship, and that means reading the Bible and what have you, which I've done in the past, but obviously not now. You know, I don't, very rarely do I get the Bible out and read it like I used to. I might only do it if I need to look at a particular scripture, and then that's different. You know, that's a different sort of situation, because you need to get a scripture to support maybe a fact that you're trying to get across. All right, so to wrap this up, I'm just saying that that religion, it won't pay your bills. You know, it won't give you a check every month for your mortgage, but it might buy a governing body member a house, a detached property in a middle-class suburban area. So although they won't do anything for your average Jehovah's Witness in a material sense and physical way, they will go into their bank accounts when it comes to helping out their hierarchy, their former governing body members. And there lies quite a lot of hypocrisy. You know, why not try and help people that are struggling at the lower levels? Why only concentrate that material help on someone that is served in the governing body? Don't you think that this is class distinction?